Hi everyone, I'm Anthony and welcome to the Nerdy Harry channel interview. Tonight's guest, Shannon Corbeil. Alright, so these are just a couple things about Shannon. Alright, military vet, actress, director, dancer, fire dancer, singer, pole dance teacher, expert marksman with a 9mm, a pinup for vet ambassador, and an indie star. And just generally an all-around good human being. Folks, let's just get straight to the interview. This is awesome. This is inspiring. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. So, where did you say you guys hid the body?
Look, I can't tell you that.
I'm not even recording yet. Just say.
They're listening.
They're not listening. Trust me. They don't listen to this one.
They're...
Well, I mean, maybe one, because there's like 3 people that listen to this.
It'll be 4 this week. My mom's gonna listen. So.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and hit record now, and we won't mention anything about the murder again.
Okay, thank you.
I won't even bring that up. That won't even be in the interview.
I appreciate that.
Or the thing about the whole guinea pig, cage fighting thing that you had invested in. I definitely won't bring that up.
So, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's
I know it's
not something I'm proud of.
Yeah, we all make mistakes. Okay, so I'll go ahead and record now. Hi everyone, I am Anthony with the Nerdy Harry channel interview and my awesome, amazing guest, multi-talented guest today, Miss Shannon Corbeil. Hey Shannon.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. This is so much fun.
No, trust me, it's going to get much worse.
Oh no!
You're at peak fun right now. No, so is everything going good with you here lately? Been busy?
I've been busy. Yeah, good busy, which is fun. So
yeah, you were actually on Fox News the other day, correct?
I was, yes. I was doing a promotion with Pinups for Vets, and we were talking about our 2017 calendar, which is just hit the printing press, so that was exciting.
Awesome, and we will get to that soon. So,
yay!
Again, thank you so much, Shannon, for being here, and I'm looking forward to, I've mentioned to our other guests on here, Jolene and John, that more than anything, this is an opportunity for me to get to know some talented friends even more, and also for the people that listen to get to know you guys and create get more fans for you guys and see how talented you guys are.
Well, I don't know about talented, but I'll try.
Okay, well, more than anything, I'll put this one on the back burner. I'll put this interview on the back burner, so if I've got nothing going on that week, I was like, well, let's just throw the Shannon interview on.
Smart, yeah. If you get sick, you want to take a vacation, just call it
in. Okay, awesome. So, Shannon, first off, I wanted to ask, where were you born and raised?
I'm a Southern California girl, so.
SoCal. Like, do you say SoCal? Is that how you do it when you're from SoCal?
Sometimes I say SoCal, yeah. Yep, I was born at Kaiser in Panorama City, and I grew up in Moorpark, California.
Awesome. No home addresses, by the way. Don't do that. That's really bad.
My address currently, my personal cell phone number is.
And I'll try to be like really nice because I don't want like any stalkers of yours to watch this video and then find all these things out about you. That's so funny. I love rabbits too, Shannon. That's interesting. But no, seriously. So that's really cool that you were born in SoCal. And so really, I'll go ahead and transition into this. You were in the military. I've mentioned that and in describing on our Facebook page about that. What I hate to jump into it already, but I'm really intrigued by that. Like, how did that happen?
So I joined after 9/11. I joined in response to 9/11, and our country needed volunteers to join the armed services, so I did. I did Air Force ROTC in college at Loyola Marymount University, so Southern California. And the only time that I have lived outside of the state is when I was active duty. So I went to Texas, Korea, and Maryland. And then finally separated and came back to LA to pursue acting full time.
Wow, there is so many things to talk about just in everything you just said. So like, first off, I want to do nothing but commend you for the fact that you joined because the 9/11 thing, right? So that is so admirable, and that is so awesome. That's amazing to me. I will go ahead and say, because I'm going to give a little spoiler here. I seen a video of yours on YouTube, which I'm going to get to later. I believe it's actually, where can I find it? I believe it's Among Us Everyday Heroes.
Yes.
Yes.
That's really incredible that you've watched that. That was a I, I can't speak highly enough of that program at the
Yeah.
Geffen Playhouse and our director, April Fitzsimmons. It was a workshop with fellow veterans, and we deconstructed our ideas of the hero, and it was very challenging. We wrote original monologues and got to perform on one of the most beautiful stages in Los Angeles, and that was wonderful. It was a
Yeah.
wonderful experience.
Yeah, it was really. I mean, we're gonna go there. Let's just go there now. Like,
Let's
um,
go. Let's go
yeah,
there.
let's do this. Uh, but no, I had found the video on YouTube, and originally, I won't lie, because I was like, okay, where's Shannon at on here, and let me see what you do in your monologue. But after I watched yours, it like made me want to watch the other ones, because
Oh,
wow,
that's wonderful.
I was like, this is so cool, and wow, that was some really moving stuff, just from. I was really moved by it. It was amazing to watch. And I will say to anybody that's listening, go to YouTube and watch that Among Us Heroes Every Day, correct?
Everyday hero.
Everyday Heroes. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Everyday Heroes. Among Us Everyday Heroes. And watch it. It's 2 hours long, but I'm telling you, it is amazing to watch and listen to. So definitely watch that.
I was floored by the veterans in my workshop. I was humbled before them every day. They're very dear friends. I think so highly of them, and I was truly honored to witness their stories. It was an incredible experience.
Oh yeah, I definitely loved watching it. And I have a question for you. This is a personal question for me regarding that. It's really stupid and silly, but
No.
there is one video that you have, first date, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, there was a guy that was from
Yeah, Leon
Leon.
River, yes.
I
Who
knew he looked familiar.
Yeah, he sure was. I met him at the Geffen in the workshop and asked him to perform with me for a sketch. And he's not the only one. I've been reaching out to a lot of them. We've been keeping in touch and are working on collaborations. And the veteran community in Los Angeles, especially in the entertainment industry, is one that's really thriving with people who want to work hard to achieve these goals. And it's been incredible to get to know them and to get to work with them.
Wow, that is so amazing. Like, so you guys have like this community then among yourselves of vets, and you have this aspiring dream to do these things like acting or directing and writing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I feel so thankful for them. I mean, the word is community, and I feel it. I feel the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the family vibes from everyone, and I'm truly thankful for it.
Wow, wow. And I want to ask one more question about it, and then we can move on. But how did that come about? How did you get involved in that to begin with?
There's an organization called Veterans in Film and Television,
Okay.
and I was on a commercial shoot with USAA, which is a military friendly bank, and so there were other vets on set with me, and in between takes or during meals or something, we were talking, and everybody says whenever we're on set with each other now, everyone does it, well, have you heard of VFT? Have you heard of Veterans in Film and Television? And so it was through another vet telling me about it that I got to be able to be involved. And there are really hardworking vets who are they really took service after service to heart, and they're continuing to serve the veteran community. And I'll say it a million times, I'm so lucky to know them.
That's so great, and thanks for sharing that with me. I mean, I was, like I said, I hope it doesn't sound mean to say it. My original intention just to watch it. I wanted to see, what your involvement was with it. But because of that, it was just a really cool thing and awesome thing to watch. I recommend it to anybody. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're a SoCal girl. When you were younger, did you have any aspirations to do acting or writing, or was it I guess was the military thing only brought up after 9/11, or because I know there's some military history with your family, correct?
I do have military history in my family, and my father is a retired fireman, and so service was something that I always appreciated, but I always wanted to be an actor. I saw Jurassic Park when I was a kid, and I was just taken.
Wow, Jurassic Park was that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, my
awesome?
grandmother bought me a magazine that had behind the scenes articles on Jurassic Park, and it had the kids shooting in Hawaii with these huge robot dinosaurs, and I was like, what? That's something that humans can do. So I sang growing up. I did theater. I performed. I loved it, and I've always wanted to be an actor. But um, after 9/11, I wanted to serve my country first, and I was able to do some performances and some singing a little bit, especially singing the national anthem, and
Yeah.
but it wasn't until the last year of my military service that I realized, all right, I've done my time, I served my commitment, and now it's time for me to pursue my dreams and believe in them and get back to it.
That's so cool. Okay, so I gotta ask,
Hmm.
list in order your favorite Jurassic Park movies.
Probably, I mean, Jurassic Park,
Right, one, obviously.
and then The Lost World, and then Jurassic World, and then Jurassic Park 3.
Really, see, Lost World is my least favorite. I don't know.
Oh,
I,
well, so I was a kid and I read Jurassic Park, which was, just way over my head.
I
It's
know. I'm
such
thinking,
such a
wow.
complex book. Yeah, I understood about 7% of it. Um, I understood the words Tyrannosaurus Rex. Um,
The-
actually, T-Rex. But I loved it, and so then I read The Lost World before the film was made. So I was
oh,
already a fan of the book.
gotcha.
And I remember being pissed when the film came out and they cast another girl to play the character of
Unbelievable.
Kelly instead of me.
See, that was
Um,
not right. I didn't understand why they did that either. Like, you're there. Hello?
I mean, technically I wasn't auditioning or putting myself out there at all, but
That is-
that's beside the
yeah,
point.
that's not even, let's not even get into the details of that. But by the
Right?
way, Jurassic World was awesome. My family and I loved that movie. Chris
It was
Pratt is
a
awesome
lot of
anyway.
fun. He's great. I love Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yes,
I
Bryce is
mean,
awesome too.
it totally it did such a great job of capturing the original fun of Steven Spielberg's film, and so it was just a lot of fun to watch. I'm excited that that it was such a success and they're going to continue to make more. And I do have very strong intentions of being a part of it somehow,
You will. You
some way.
will. You stay committed to that. That's so, I mean, but think about that though. Like a movie like Jurassic Park has inspired you. I mean, in that small little movie inspired somebody like you. And look at all the creative stuff you've done now. That's what's so great about the arts is just it doesn't even have to be Jurassic Park. It can be a small little short video on YouTube that can inspire people, and that's what I love about stuff like that.
Oh, I agree completely. I've been feeling so much like a sponge lately where I can't get enough of other people's creativity and their thought processes. Processes? Processes?
Don't
What
worry.
is
There's no grammar. There's no. I said grammar. Grammar.
grammar?
There's no grammar.
The collective thought process of the human.
Good recovery. Good recovery. I'm gonna edit that out. I'm gonna leave it in because that's good stuff.
Just in case it's processes, we should leave it in. You never know. But I've been really enjoying seeing how other people create things and how they work together and the messages that they share. I've always enjoyed feel good films.
Yeah, I get that a lot from your stuff. I
Oh, thank
definitely,
you.
yeah, no, it's definitely really cool. And actually, I wanted to also get back on the military thing. So when you joined the military, was that an eye-opening experience for you? Was that like, oh, what the heck have I done? Or was it like, no, I'm all in on this. Let's do it. Or
So,
both, maybe.
well, I was very lucky, um, and I trained at an exceptional detachment at Loyola Marymount University, Det 40, and our the colonel there, and the one who recruited me, Colonel McIntosh, was the most inspiring leader, and he created an incredible training program. Morale was so high. I was amped.
Yeah.
So I loved ROTC.
Yeah,
I
you had
loved,
ROTC in college, correct?
right,
Right.
right. And so our boot camp is during the summer, and there are summer programs each year that we could go to. So that's where I did, I went skydiving. I got my jump wings during a summer program. We call it field training. So I went to field training one summer. I got to go back the next summer and be a cadet training assistant. And, like
That's
we're not allowed to yell at cadets, but,
Hey, could
you know,
you
yell at
I'm
cadets.
sorry.
Um,
Could you like the lady from was it Hooks from Police Academy, remember? Excuse me. Excuse
Excuse me, cadet, you have disappointed me.
Oh wow, you
I
have
think about that.
there's the niceness to us, but with some attitude, right?
Well, that's the only power that I had as a leader because I do not have an intimidating stature. Females in general do not have any type of deep booming voice. Like if we start to yell, we will probably just sound catty or silly. Like so, it really had to come from a place of trying to earn their
Right.
respect.
No, that's
And then when they messed up, make them feel exceptionally guilty about it because I couldn't out push them. I can't do more push-ups
right.
than many of the guys, and I could cheat and tag team with another. I'm like, come here. I can only do so many. I cap out at 50. You do 50 more with them. But yeah, and that was another learning experience for me in trying to learn how to gain respect of the people that I'm supposed to lead. And so in that way, the military was very eye-opening, especially active duty and
Mhm.
serving during wartime. And
Was it
that,
was it and I don't mean to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but
no, no, no.
you went to ROTC in college, so you come out, I believe,
I commissioned as a second lieutenant. So I graduated from college, and then the next month we had our commissioning ceremony.
so was that pretty to come out of college and to go active duty? Is there a way that maybe you're perceived if you go to college instead of coming straight out of high school per se, and you have this high rank? They're like, oh, okay, whatever.
It's a very delicate balance because you have to have a degree in order to be an officer.
Right.
And so certainly enlisted can earn their degree, and they're encouraged to continue their education. Everybody in the military is. But they could then transfer to the officer corps. But yeah, as a butter bar, like as a little second lieutenant, if I walk around strutting my stuff, these guys who have been to war for the past 4 years while I was playing games at LMU, like on the beach, would not respect me. They'd like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd get beaten.
But I think also, though, I believe from what I know from you, Shannon, I don't think your personality would have allowed you to be that. I think you probably actually went the exact opposite way where, look, okay, I've got to earn your respect. What do I need to do?
Thank you.
Or do that.
I tried, and I was lucky that while I was training, I had officers teach me to do that. Like they said, look for an enlisted mentor. The most incredible people that I've met in my life were enlisted. They were the subject matter experts and just the best in the world at what they were doing. So it made sense. I was there to oversee them as they performed the mission, so I was just there to keep things organized, and to like seek their knowledge and seek their advice, seek their opinions, make sure that everybody's paperwork was pushed on time. They were the heroes doing the work.
No, okay, I got you. So I thought it was really cool too. You got now maybe I'm wrong with this. Expert marksman with a 9mm.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome, Shannon. Like
Oh.
I'm not even. I maybe shot a gun 3, 4 times in my life, so that's freaking awesome that you did that.
Oh,
So
well, thank you. I have a very profound respect for guns because I know people who have been killed by guns, and
yeah,
so that was something that I took with me. I mean, I went into each shooting exercise with some fear and with deep respect for it,
yeah,
and and I also knew that they were training me to pull a trigger while aiming it at someone who was going to try to kill me or to kill my team, and
yeah.
and so I mean it's a life and death machine, and so that was something that I thought about every time I pulled my trigger.
Wow, thanks so much for sharing that. And like I said again, or I'll say it again, that is so cool and so admirable that you did that after 9/11. Was your family really stoked that you kind of were like, okay, sure, I'm going to do this?
They were pretty baffled. I mean, certainly I think that there was some pride. A lot of people, or I guess few people, expected it from me because, like I said, I had been musical theater and chorus, and
Right.
um, so it was quite a turn for me, and it was a challenging process. But my grandparents served, and my aunt and uncle were in the Air Force. They were a reason. They've always been heroes to me. They're a big reason why I chose to join the Air Force in particular.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, my uncle served, and so I think in that respect there was pride, but also fear. It was a time of war, so that
Oh,
was
yeah.
something serious.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so now you're 4 years in, and now the decision is to, okay, do I continue on or do I kind of start going for that dream thing you used to want to do, right?
Yeah, what would happen? I never changed from like that kid that was jealous about not being cast in the Lost
How
World.
Lost World really scarred you.
Well, every time it still happens. When there's a film that I'm so in love with, I struggle with enjoying the movie because I feel so left out that I wasn't a
Oh,
part of
wow.
creating it. True story, I had to take a Xanax to go see The Force Awakens. I thought I was gonna be okay. I was totally talking myself, and I went to see, I went to see it with my dear partner, companion, who has witnessed this from me through the years, and I was like, I'm gonna be fine, and I just started crying, and I was like, okay, no, give me the pill. But that happened while I was on active duty. There were whispers, there were rumors about Wicked becoming a film, and I was like, that would be such a fun film to be in. And I realized I was like somebody complaining about not winning the lottery when I don't buy a ticket. There's that
Right.
joke.
Correct.
And so I knew that I would just suffer my whole life every time a fun film came out unless I came and gave it everything that I had to pursue this dream and to pursue this career, this lifestyle of getting to step into these worlds and play new characters and portray the human experience. And so that's what keeps me going, is it's either pursue it 100% or become a hermit deep in the woods.
Okay,
Where there are no movies
okay,
or
so
internet.
so
Go
now
ahead.
you tell your family, okay, guys, I'm gonna try this Hollywood thing now. So what is that reaction like?
Yeah, it my family loves me and they want the best
Yeah,
for me,
absolutely.
and they want to see me happy, and they know that acting is extremely competitive.
Right.
It's very difficult to earn a living. There's a lot of rejection that comes with it. I'm going to audition for more things than I will book, so people are going to say no to me a lot. And because it's also a visual medium, people are going to say no because I don't like the way you look, or you're too fat, or you're too skinny, or you're too tall, you're too white, you're too this, you're too this. And so I think it came with a different type of fear from my parents, who want to see me living a nice, peaceful life and
Obviously.
happy and paying for food and stuff.
Paying for
So
food. It's stealing for food.
they still struggle when I have artist angst, where if I go too long without working very much, or if other life things get in the way, I start to get really anxious,
Mhm.
and it can lend itself to becoming morose, and they just want to see me happy, so they're like, you know, Shannon, you'd be such a good teacher. You could be a teacher. And I'm like, just believe in my dreams, Mom.
I'll be in my room.
I'm gonna go write a script. You'll see.
This will all be
And
in a movie someday.
exactly. And actually, that has been what's helped start me down this road of becoming a writer and creating my own content. And I found you, we met through indie.com, which is an amazing community that sets up challenges for artists. And those kinds of challenges get me going.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know what? There's a deadline. So now I have a goal. So let's make something. Let's get other people. And I scoured indie.com, and that's how I found people like Travis Dixon and Jolene
Yeah.
Kay and Jessica Kinney and so many more, Boston Blake, so many. And connecting with other artists who want to hustle and want to grind and want to learn and want to make mistakes, want to make really embarrassing videos and then put them up for the world to see, and that's how we get better.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Absolutely. And I was wondering, how did you come across indie.com? Did you hear it through somebody or?
actually, so I met Jolene, and I had the same agent who sent us out on the same audition, and so we met at that audition and we became Facebook friends. And
Wow.
she found indie.com first, and I watched her auditions, and I was like, what, this chick is crazy, she's amazing, I want to be just like her. And that's been kind of my motto ever since. Don't
Wow, that is so good. I'm a fan of all of you guys, because I spoke about it in other interviews. I look how professional I sound right there. In other interviews that I've had, I've spoken
Hey, you're racking them up.
about it. No, but I had someone mention to me about it, and I had originally wanted to do it for comedy and stuff. And so the things I first seen from you were comedy stuff, which you're great. All of you are so great at everything that you do when it comes to acting. But I love people that can make me laugh, because I think it's a lot harder than people realize. I found through, amateur stand-ups, because I did some, amateur nights and stuff in my early 20s, and it's such a hard thing to do. And to get on indie.com and let people from around the world see your stuff, yeah, it's really an amazing thing. I've gotten to know some great people, including yourself, and because of indie, I've made friends, and I've got to see these talented people do such amazing things. And I can't wait to see what the rest of you guys do, in the future.
It's really fun. You're right. Comedy is so challenging, and it's very fast, and it's supposed to be full of surprises, and so it's really a great mind workout for me. It really works out my brain to try to do it, but it's so fun, and I feel the same way as you do. I love comedy. I love feeling good. I love feeling happy. I love the endorphins from laughter, and I'm lucky to be in Los Angeles, where it's easier to build that community of people who are willing to come and work for free or work for deferred payments. And I'm lucky that through indie.com I've been able to pay my actors so far.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for it. So I appreciate their time, and I appreciate their talents, and I learn so much from them. I learn so much from each project that we do, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys actually, it's funny because when I first originally did indie, I just wanted to get my content out there just to see how people react to it, and it really surprised me. But then, like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but seeing how great and funny you guys were, like, made me up my game. Like, okay, not in a competitive, like, I want to beat them, like, oh my gosh, there is some legitimately very talented people out there, and I want to see if I can bring that the way they do, you know?
I feel the exact same way, and that's what's great about art is we're always learning from each other and borrowing from each other. And I absolutely do that with other actors. I see what they're doing and I'm like, oh my gosh, she doesn't blink. She's not blinking in her close up. That's and then I can go and look at my footage. I'm like, I'm blinking way too much, and that's how we learn technique and that's how we make ourselves better. And so it's all about growth.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So now, kind of still talking about Indy to a certain extent, you met Travis, I'm assuming, through Indy as well, right?
I did, yes. So I had the idea for I made a short film about a guy who thinks that he's Han Solo and his girlfriend's not that into it. And so I needed a guy, I needed a male actor, and I needed it to be somebody who was kind of familiar with indie, like you might win money, you might not. This is the audience. People might see it, they might not. So somebody who was already familiar with that process. And so I was looking at the different actor auditions, and he came up again and again and again because he works so hard. He's an incredibly hard worker, and it stands out. He's so fun. So I cold called him. I sent him a message and like, hey, you don't know me, but I'm Shannon, and do you want to meet in a coffee shop? I've got a script I think that you'd be great in, and if you have the time. And he was very gracious that he met with me. And
Oh,
I
wow,
was
that
like,
is so great.
yeah, and he agreed to film it, and he elevated it beyond my wildest dreams. That was the first time I had seen another actor portray my work, and it
What better
was so
person to get to do it than Travis? Because to me,
what
he reminds me of like a Matthew Broderick, where he can do anything. You know what I mean?
it was such a gift. He brought such life to it in ways that it never would have occurred to me. And he did the same thing. He was wonderful. So I asked him to do my next comedy short, The Truth or Dare,
Yeah,
and
it's hilarious.
he's
Both of them
he's
are.
like the best thing in it. My parents love him.
Oh my!
So they're his number one fans. Like they love him more than his wife, his parents. My parents are obsessed with him.
Yeah,
He's so funny.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And my two favorite parts, my favorite part, and You Are Not Han Solo, which by the way, go to indie.com and watch Shannon's videos. They're really good and really funny. Like I said, three of my three favorites of yours on indie.com are Crazy Cat Lady, which is hilarious, and You're Not Han Solo and Truth or Dare. But I love and You're Not Han Solo when you come in and he's like in the floor and he's got this little fort.
I know. I could hardly get through that scene without laughing. I ruined a few takes. He's so funny. And if it's hard to find those on indie.com, they're all on my website too.
Oh, okay, yeah, that as well. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah,
Correct.
shannoncorbeil.com. So I
Yeah,
try to make it easy to find them.
yeah, no, that is easy as well. So I apologize for that. But and also I loved on Truth or Dare just his reactions when he's watching you guys as the camera. That is that whole thing is so great because knowing when to cut to him, or as far as like using those scenes of his reaction, because Travis is a physical comedian as well. He can do that with his face. And so that whole video. I mean, you wrote and directed it as well, right?
I did, yeah, and editing it is how I learned. I'm getting ready to shoot some more comedy stuff, and editing that and realizing like, oh, I need a quick reaction shot here. It made me learn like comedy is fast, and one of the best parts about comedy are the people's reactions
Yeah.
to what's going on in the situation. So now I know when I'm shooting for coverage, not only to get the takes that I need from everybody when they have lines, but their reactions to what's going on in the scene to insert, because if you pay attention to, I've been paying attention to it now whenever I go and watch comedy, and the reactions are gold. and Travis delivered.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I found in the past when I've done my comedy videos, it's so funny because I have a direction that I know that I want to go. Like, okay, this is how I want it, and then I'll do a couple extra things like, okay, I'll just try this and yada yada. But it's so funny. I found when I first started doing the videos, I enjoyed the writing and the acting part of it was cool. But like I found like, man, editing is where you create and you can make it any way. It could go so many different ways with editing. And I don't think people really understand the importance of editing.
Since I've begun editing, I have so much respect for editors. To me, it's very grueling. My favorite thing to do is to act, and I enjoy writing, and I'm trying to become at least proficient in everything, but editing is hard work, and editors they're the icing on the cake. They're what makes it sweet, what gives it that that je ne sais quoi. Like, editors can turn something into, even, a friend of mine, a veteran, just gave me some help with my demo reel, taking scenes that maybe worked in a short film, but for my demo reel needed to be much faster, and
Right.
so it just makes such a difference the way that something is cut, and it makes it so much more enjoyable for the viewer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes, hats off to editors.
Okay, well, I was actually going to read this here. This is from Travis Dixon.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. So this is what Travis said about Shannon Corbeil.
oh my God, what's gonna happen?
Travis, come on out. No. Shannon is fearless. Whether she's working on her own projects or others, she is always out front, ready to create. Having worked with her several times now, I truly appreciate her genuine kindness and the energy she puts forth. Her honest and creative outlook is something I've sincerely enjoyed seeing take shape. Here's to many more collaborations. I'm holding up a whiskey that you can't really see in a quote. So Travis was literally and figuratively drunk after this quote, I believe. So that
Well,
so much.
I'm glad I said nice things about him.
I would have edited out. So, no.
Thank you. What a fun surprise. That means a lot coming from him.
Oh
So.
yeah. And moving on, I want to ask you about pinups for vets.
Yeah.
So this came about actually because of the Among Us, right?
Yes. So Gina Elise, the founder of Pinups for Vets, went and watched our performance
Mhm.
and wanted to meet me afterwards, which is so touching to me because I think so highly of her. She's an incredible woman and a great leader. So Pinups for Vets is a nonprofit organization that she started 10 years ago. And primarily through her annual calendar, she raises money to provide medical equipment to military and veteran hospitals across the country. She'll know best, but I believe she's been able to donate over $50,000 worth of medical support for veterans. And if there's one thing that I'll say about the military, it's that it places incredible hardship on veterans' bodies,
Mhm.
and unfortunately doesn't do a very good job of repairing the damage that it causes. And so I'm very proud to support organizations that help specifically with medical and mental health for vets. And then Gina just makes it fun because we also get to dress up like pinups, and we do.
Was that surprising? Like when she come up and asked you? Because, I mean, had you done any kind of modeling like that? I guess before.
So in my monologue, I talked a bit about. In addition to acting, I transitioned to teaching pole dance.
Yes, I was
after
going
the
to get to that.
military.
Do not forget about that, by the way.
Yeah, and the pole dance community also, I performed alongside burlesque performers, and burlesque lends itself to pinup, so it all blends together. Many people don't know that pole dance is a growing athletic sport.
Okay, right.
It's very gymnastic, and it comes from its roots in exotic clubs with exotic dancers, and many exotic dancers come to pole dance. They teach it. Some students only want to take classes. Some like to perform. When I've done performances, it's been at showcases, and it's been at private events, and it's been alongside other burlesque dancers and fire dancers. So it's this whole new world of aerial arts, and circus arts and and
That's gotta be a whole nother level of physicality though, right?
oh yeah.
Wow.
Pole dancing made me stronger than the military ever did. Like the military is all about running and push-ups and sit-ups, and with pole dance, it is a full body workout, especially upper body. Females don't really naturally carry our strength in our upper body. We carry it in our core. And so building the upper body strength to do some of the more advanced tricks is something that has been so much fun, so challenging, so rewarding, and very empowering as a woman. And so I think Gina responded to my monologue where I talked about empowering women and healing through connecting with women, and that's what she's created with Pinups for Vets, is
Right.
this very empowered community of women who come together, but there are also males who join the organization. They're, many are veterans, there are non-veterans, and everybody comes together to help give back to service members. So it's just great all around.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I'll get back to pinups for vets for a second, but that pole dancing, that had a profound effect on you, didn't it? Like when,
Oh, it absolutely did. I mean, I went very much from a man's world to predominantly a female world. There are male pole dancers, and they're crazy incredible. They're so strong. It's so fun to watch. But predominantly it was women, and most of my students were women, and so I was taking classes with women, and it's something, one of my favorite jokes when I'm a teacher is like, all right, well, you didn't come to yoga today, you came to pole dance. It's just a little more spicy, and the beautiful thing is that depending on the music, depending on the costume, depending on the person and the performer, it can be anything. It can be really sexy, it can be really classy, it can be very graceful, it can be super naughty, and all of that is okay.
yeah,
And
I
it's
understand.
part of how women express themselves, and in our history we haven't really been given permission to express ourselves, and we've had to repress a lot of things, and so I love that pole dance allows people to be whoever they want to be and show as much as they want to show to whoever they want to show it, and it's all about the dance, and it's so much fun.
Wow, that's great. Thanks for kind of giving your point of view and explaining what it means to you. That's so cool to hear it explained like that. You also mentioned that you did like fire dancing, and I've seen some videos before where you do this. How on earth, Shannon, do you let fire actually touch your skin? I mean,
uh,
something there that protects you, or what's going on here?
I love fire dance. I'm a Leo. I'm a fire sign. I've always really connected with the element of fire. And through pole dance, I met fire dancers, specifically Fire Groove Entertainment in Los Angeles.
Wow.
They're so inspiring. And the way that it works when you're doing contact with the fire is there's a wick on whatever tool you're using. So, we'll talk about a staff, which is kind of like a baton. And so there's the wick at the end, and you put the wick into fuel, and then you light the fuel on fire.
Okay.
And so when you press that to your skin, it's kind of like a stamp where it will press the fuel onto your skin, and the fire will burn the fuel and then disappear. So the heat is similar to passing your fingers through a candle flame, where if you do it quickly, it won't burn you. You'll feel the heat. And my teacher, Alley Cat Rose, Hell's Bells Burlesque and Fire Groove Entertainment, told me she thinks of it as something very meditative, connecting with the fire and mentally knowing it's not going to burn you. It's, the science is that it will burn the fuel, and then
Wow,
help you save. And
that's some serious mental dexterity there to.
it is, well, especially, I mean, it's very manageable with something like the fire-eating torches, which are a very small wick. When I do fire fans, which have 5 very large wicks on the end, there's the heat, and you can hear the flames, like you hear it burn when it passes through the air, and it becomes very elemental, and, like instincts start kicking in, like fire, danger, and so learning how to face that fear and to live with it and kind of be safe in it and learn how to dance and connect with the fire is something that I can't describe. It's so cool.
Wow. Do you catch bullets in your teeth too? For goodness sakes, woman, what do you do? All these things.
I have creative ADD. I'm like a butterfly. So every time I see somebody do something, like, I want to try, I want to try, I want to try. I just like to try
No,
things.
that's great though, because I mean that's inspiring. I mean that can inspire people. Like, wow, that's cool. That think about it. You were inspired to. Well, number one, you were inspired by a movie to become an actress. You were inspired by 9/11 to go join the military, and you've been inspired to do the pole dancing, and you've probably inspired other people. I mean, it's pretty amazing. That's so cool that you have that inspiration in you. You may not even realize it, but you do. So that's really cool.
I love the interconnectivity of inspiration, and it's not something finite, it's not something where I have to keep it to myself, because there's only so much of it. It just grows, it's contagious, and you can pass it on. And I love learning from others. I love collaborating with others. I love creating and dancing and acting, and I just there are so many neat things to do in this world, and
That
I enjoy exploring them.
That's such a great attitude to have, Shannon. Like I said, I commend you for that. We were talking about pinups for vets earlier, and you were talking about some of the things they do. I had a couple of things here that I also wanted to mention. Some of them you've probably already mentioned, but just the great things that they do. Like
Hmm.
you said, I know rehab equipment to VA hospitals, visit the vets in the hospital, care packages to deployed units, boost morale for military wives. I mean, that's just like the tip of the iceberg on things that they do. And so, like, how does that go about? Basically, do you have, because I seen recently where you actually did pinups on tour. So you performed last night, right?
I performed last night with Pinups on Tour, and Pinups on Tour is a separate organization
Okay,
with
sorry.
with a very similar mission. No, and they collaborate with Gina with Pinups for
Okay,
Vets a lot. And so it's two organizations that have the same goal, and they help each other out, but they do it
that
through
is so
different
great.
ways. Yeah, so Pinups on Tour travels and performs, and they help raise morale, and they are also raising funds to help support veterans, and but they go and do they'll perform in hospitals and bring music and dance,
Wow.
and so last night they returned from their national tour back to their hometown, Hollywood, and so we got to do a welcome home event where I got to sing and play guitar with them, and so I was very excited to share the stage with them.
That's great. Okay, so now what I want to share another quote.
Oh
Are you ready for this? This is from Gina Elise.
my God! What is happening?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to embarrass you, but you need to hear these things. So,
This is very touching.
okay, so this is from Gina. I feel incredibly fortunate to have met Shannon. I saw her for the first time on stage at the Geffen when she performed her monologue. I was very moved by her piece and knew that I wanted to reach out to her to see if she would like to be involved with our organization. Ever since then, she has attended hospital visits with us, posed for our 2017 fundraiser calendar, and actually, you missed September, correct?
I am, yeah.
Okay, that's right. And interviews about our organization and always offers to help with anything needed. One of the things that is great about Shannon is that she is reliable. If she says she is going to be there, she is there, and she is there on time. Reliability is something I seek out in people I work with. She always has a very positive attitude, a very happy disposition, which is wonderful when you're visiting with hospitalized veterans. She is a great listener and stays with them as long as they need. I feel fortunate to have her as a Pinups for Vets ambassador. The other thing about Shannon is that she is a Jill of all trades. She is an actress, a writer, a singer, a pole dancer, a yogi, an artist, a director, an editor, a photographer, a college graduate, a model, a mermaid. I'm going to ask you about that. A United States Air Force veteran, an expert marksman on the 9 millimeter, and has her jump wings among many other things. She is such a multi-talented human. She is such a multi-talented human. She yet remains so humble that you would never know when talking to her that she is so skilled at so many things. It's taken me months to find all these things out because she doesn't openly talk about it, but I think we all feel so lucky to know her. So that was from Gina.
Well, you guys are gonna make me cry. I hope you're happy. Gina, thank you. I feel lucky to know her. I'm like I'm like, well, we're friends now. You're you've invited me into your world. You're stuck with me. I'm gonna follow you everywhere.
Well, that's so great
She's
though. That and those things were so amazing what she said. But you can tell you are a such a good human being, and it's so needed in the world today. I think we know with everything that's going on, it's so important just to be a good human being, and that's so good, and that's definitely in you. And just to add on the talents as well, such a great thing, Shannon. So you should definitely be proud of that. So.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel very touched.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So before we're going to start wrapping it up here in a few minutes, but I have 10 questions for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they're not too bad. Okay, they're not.
I'm ready.
You shouldn't be too scared. Okay, so question number one: Walking Dead or Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, absolutely. Oh God, I'm so into it. I love it. And I am terrified of zombies. And so I watched the pilot for Walking Dead and had nightmares and was like, I can't do this.
Seriously?
And yeah, and so every time there are undead scenes in Game of Thrones, I have to like
Like the
I
main characters of the White Walkers, possibly?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my God, the Hard Home episode I watched alone in the dark, and then the Hold the Door episode.
Yeah. Oh gosh, was that not heart-wrenching? Because my wife and I are huge Game of Thrones fans. And
I don't want to give any spoilers, but
I'll give it. I don't care. If they haven't watched it by now, for goodness sakes.
no, you have to like with Game of Thrones, you have to watch it live or avoid the internet
Yeah.
because people spoil it as it's on. I mean, like there will be a GIF of the most mind-blowing scene within minutes of the episode wrapping.
I know.
So yeah, the finale I wasn't able to watch it when it aired because
What?
I know I was working
Oh,
and traveling, and so I no internet.
oh.
Which couldn't go on, couldn't do it.
Okay, so I have a question
Yeah,
for you.
okay.
I'm going to go off my 10 questions real quick. Which is your favorite season so far? Was season six your favorite season? Because me personally, I kind of tend to lean more towards five, but I love six.
I loved six because it's been really fun to see some of my favorite women kicking ass on
Yeah.
the show.
This has been Year of the
Um,
Women for Game of Thrones, which has been great.
Totally, totally. There was one female that I really loved. I was sad to see her go. So I thought I had more time with her. Obviously, I would be a fool with Game of Thrones to hope that anybody would survive this winter. But there are a few characters I'm like, come on,
I know.
don't do this to me, George. Uh, oh, that show is masterful.
Would you?
Masterful.
Is that your dream show to be on, by the way?
Hell yes.
Let's take
I would
yes.
die. I wouldn't even be able to be on the show if I got cast in it. I would just have a heart attack and die happy. I just,
Cut. She's dead.
oh my God. I would,
I've left you speechless on that one. I'm sorry.
I would lose my mind. There are a few projects where I'd lose my mind and I'd have to really have a coming to Jesus in my heart, like to be cool.
Okay, Game of Thrones people, listen to this. Shannon's here. Shannon is here. Okay, so question number two, reality TV, yes or no?
Mm, for the most part, I like some reality competition shows.
Okay.
I don't necessarily love the shows that just follow certain
Yeah,
personalities.
yeah.
But I love Project Runway. That's a creative show that gets me. I love seeing people become creative and do things that I couldn't do if I had 6 months to make the dresses that they make overnight. So I do like the reality shows where I get to see people's creativity come out.
Okay, great. Okay, so biggest fear.
Zombies.
I think we
Look,
we covered that in the first
Look,
one, didn't we?
it's not illogical to believe in a human contagion
Okay.
that
See, I
if
used to
this
feel the
is
same
your
way. I used to feel the same way about Freddy Krueger. Okay, so listen to my fear. Freddy Krueger. Don't laugh at me. You're laughing at my fear. All right, now hold it in. So, okay, you can die in your sleep, right?
uh, I guess I try not to think about that.
Well, now I've maybe put dying in your sleep as your biggest fear. But
Great.
as a kid, though, I was absolutely terrified of Freddy because I thought, okay, if you can die in your sleep of just being so absolutely scared, then what if I dream about Freddy?
Something super scary.
I
I feel
know. So, I mean, I've grown out of that somewhat. I'm not afraid of Freddy as much. No, actually, I got to see him, Robert Englund, at Walker Stalker Con. It's a Walking Dead convention
yeah.
a couple of months ago. That was pretty. It kind of like, okay, yeah, it's just a guy, so it's okay. I'll be okay. Okay, so
Okay.
question number 4.
Yes.
All right, now this is a tough one.
Okay. I'm ready.
Which one? You ready?
hmm
Fart or poot?
Poot is funny. I feel like we should bring Poot back.
Wow, so you're going with poot. Can
Let's
you
make
say it in
Poot
a
happen.
sentence though, and it'd be okay? Like,
I'm a child when it comes to bodily functions. I will always laugh if somebody poots. It's actually I have to be so careful in, for example, a yoga class because I don't want to shame anyone. I don't want to make anyone embarrassed because I am immature.
does
But
it
man,
happen? Like, does it really happen in like yoga class?
yes,
Like,
it's called there's a Sanskrit word for it. It's called apanavayu, the downward flowing air. But I mean, yeah, people
I
are
love that.
contributing and like it happens and I sit there and I'm like don't make eye contact with anyone, just breathe. Just breathe. You're an adult.
That
You are
is
an adult.
that is so great. See, me and my boys, my 2 little boys, we have this
Oh
game that we used to
boy.
play where you had to say certain sentences without laughing. So one of the sentences was, and you had to do it with a British accent. Yeah, they would have to say it without laughing or smiling. They'd have to say something like, for example, like, "Father, excuse me, I've just farted." And so, like, you have to say that without laughing. And
I
it's
that's
impossible.
that's one thing that I could never do in the military. I could not keep my bearing when people were making jokes. I laugh when I'm nervous. I laugh like my go-to is to laugh. That is funny. I don't think I could get through
Oh, it's
it.
so difficult, but it's funny because my youngest, my 10-year-old Ethan, like he's almost mastered it now. He really nails.
He's learning those skills. That's
Yeah.
great.
And so this is so bad. But I was like, how have you learned not to do it? And this is what he said. He goes, I just kind of think of bad things. I was like, how do you're 10 years
Whatever
old?
whatever technique works.
That's
A
so
budding
amazing.
actor. Your kids are so cute. I love your whole family. You
Oh,
guys are just a wholesome bunch. You just make me happy.
oh, thank you so much. I am
Just
so
such a
blessed to have
light
all
in
three
the
of them.
world.
My wife and kids are amazing. So thank you so much for that. Okay, so question number
Okay.
5. Most embarrassing moment.
Oh God.
You don't have to go, all out embarrassing if you don't want to, but just an.
Gee, I just can't think of any. uh, so many, so many. Um, oh man. So I had an audition that I really worked myself up over. I felt I really wanted a role, not even, I wanted to be the understudy. Like I knew who was going to get the role. I wanted to be the understudy for the role.
Okay.
And I was just, I didn't feel prepared for my audition. I wasn't ready. And the auditions were taking place over 3 days. And so in my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm not ready. I don't have it together. I'll audition tomorrow. But the director called me up and made me audition anyway.
Oh.
And like my voice cracked while I was singing and I was like gonna cry during my audition. And as I have said, I'm a Leo. I have really strong emotions, and in high school especially I was still learning how to control them. So I went outside the theater to the back of the theater and I just like my friend came out with me and I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I started just raging at the top of my lungs. And unbeknownst to me, I was so loud that the baseball team way across the campus who was out of practice heard me, identified me,
Wow.
remembered me, and like it was so bad that as my sisters who are younger than me went to high school behind me, like the coach was like, Corbeil, uh, do we need to worry about any outbursts here? So, yes, there have been many times in my hometown where I have had public outbursts of powerful emotions
That's a good one,
that
though. That's a really
that I
good one.
God, God bless all my teachers and my soccer coaches growing up. Uh,
Baseball team.
and I apologize.
Okay, so number 6, you are stuck in a room and you don't know for how long, but there's a TV and a DVD player. Which movie do you want in there to watch? Non-stop.
Oh, I get one movie to
That's it.
watch. Or TV show? Or is it a movie? I'm
Movie
like
only.
looking at those. One movie. There are like 10 movies that I watch over and over and over. So which one would I get sick of the least?
Ooh, this is a tough one.
This is really tough. I just like walk out of the room. Like the pressure's too high.
The keys in the
Um,
room till you leave, it's over, dang it.
one of my favorite movies is Obvious Child, and
Okay.
it was Gillian Robespierre's film. And so not only does it entertain me, but I watch it and I study it and I learn from it. So I guess if I'm stuck in this room, I may as well learn something and be entertained and feel like I'm amongst friends.
There you
Jenny,
go.
Jenny Slate.
Great answer. There you go. So question number 7, if you're on a date and they have a booger, do you tell them?
I do, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I have to, but in like a super awkward way where I'm like, okay, look, I'm like, okay, look, no one's happy about the conversation that's about to take place, but I don't want you to think that I'm the kind of person that's gonna let you go the
No,
whole night.
no, you don't
No,
do that.
no, I
No.
I preamble everything. I feel so like fair warning to the men who date me. I will preamble every interaction. Most likely our first kiss. I'll like right as it's about to happen, I'll be like, oh, so we're gonna.
And this is what we're fixing. Oh, okay. As our lips
Oh,
are getting closer and
oh,
oh,
it's happening. Okay, good for you. Yeah, you're going for it. Yeah, no, I'm game. Yeah,
oh gosh.
I am not exaggerating. I'm sad to
Wow.
say this is
That
true. I get
that
nervous and I just start blurting things out.
Okay, so you do tell them. Wow, that's gutsy right there. Okay, so question number 8, Han Solo or Indiana Jones?
Ooh, Han Solo.
Wow, okay. Reading a book or checking your Facebook?
Oh my God, I hope reading a book.
There.
I enjoy reading a book much more. I check my Facebook more than I read books, sadly.
Okay,
I've been trying to get back to books before bedtime. So no phone before bed, books like paperback or hardback, not even a Kindle, no screens before bed. So,
that's good. By the way, real quick, favorite book?
oh, oh,
Just
I
throw one out there.
there are like a million books in here. I love Kushiel's Dart. I love Ender's Game.
Okay.
I love Eat, Pray, Love. Not that kind of girl. You said one. There's no way. American Primitive. I could go all day. I love books. Oh,
See, I
Ella
love
Enchanted.
autobiographies. I love
Oh,
autobiographies. So like Steve Martin's Born Standing Up. If you've never,
yeah. I haven't.
oh,
Okay.
you've got to. It's a whole. We were talking about comedy earlier.
Yeah.
He said, okay, this is comedy. I'm going to do the exact opposite of that, and that is so scary and gutsy. And he
Sure.
stuck with it, and he sucked at it at first, but he stuck with it, and it was so cool and interesting to read. It's so interesting to me when I hear comedians talk about how they view comedy, because you
Yeah.
see it one way, but you're completely wrong.
One of my favorites, and actually after this I'm going to go Google the difference between an autobiography and a memoir, but Amy Purdy has written such a beautiful and inspiring book. And if you don't know who she is a Paralympic athlete, and she lost both of her legs beneath the knee when she was 19, I believe, to meningitis.
Wow.
And she turned her life around. She has gone on, she won a bronze medal at the Sochi Olympics with snowboarding. She was on Dancing with the Stars, and she has just shown how you can, like, that's something that could have sent her into a dark depression and ruined her life, and she turned it into something that motivates and inspires others, and she is so strong, she is so vibrant and bright, and her book is wonderful.
Okay, duly noted.
Yeah, I think it's called On My Own 2 Feet.
On My Own 2 Feet. Oh, okay.
Something like that, but Amy Purdy.
Amy Purdy, okay. So, number 10, and the final question, and this is a tough one. Ready?
I think so.
Did you order the Code Red?
You're damn right I ordered it!
Yes! Best possible answer that you could have ever given. There is not many people that can get that answer, Shannon. Bonus points. Bonus 500 points. You got it.
That was an intense film.
Okay, Shannon, thank you so much for doing this, for taking the time to do this interview. I'm thankful as a friend, but it's so cool to learn. I got to learn so many amazing, cool things about you. And, I will tell you that you all that, I hope to get to be able to speak to, and I've got to speak to some of you already, but you all have inspired me in a way that you probably don't realize. And so thank you for that. And so I want you all to know, and you for this interview to know that you have inspired one person. So thank you so much for doing this. And I can't wait to see what else you have ahead for you. So
I'm so honored to be here. You are such a genuine spirit. I'm so touched at the lengths that you went to learn about me and to contact people that I've worked with. And I have really treasured this conversation, and I'm lucky to have you as a friend, and thank you, honestly, thank you.
Oh, great, Shannon. And hey, we can do this again in the future. You never know, right?
Yes. in person one day.
I know, that's exactly true. I've talked to Jolene and Daniel about that. Someday, my wife and I hopefully make that trip. So whenever we do, you will definitely be contacted.
Yes, please.
But thank you again, Shannon. And I wanted to say also for everybody, if you want to know more about Shannon and see some of her work, she has her own website, her own homepage, www.shannoncorbeil.com. That's ShannonCorbeil, okay, Corbeil, shannoncorbeil.com. She just started her Facebook page, Shannon Corbeil Acting, right? Correct. And she's also on Twitter at Shannon Corbeil. So guys, there's your opportunity to go watch somebody continue to grow and see all the amazing things she's done, and look forward to more. So Shannon, thank you again.
Thank you so much. Good luck with everything you're doing. I can't wait to see more out of you.
Okay.
Have a good one.